Shortly after moving here, she started getting really sick.
Ashley Preston talking about her daughter, who was 3 years old when they moved to Dewey Humboldt, east of Prescott, back in 2005.
I noticed that every time the dust was blowing off the smelter that my daughter was having these attacks and we would end up in the hospital.
Preston lived right across the road from the former Humboldt smelter. Mining and smelting date back to the 1870s on this massive site before Arizona was even a state. Smelting is a process of applying heat and chemicals to rock to extract metal, in this case copper. It leaves behind waste full of toxic chemicals.
I started digging into that and found the correlation of beryllium in the dust, and had my daughter tested at that point, and beryllium was found in her blood.
Beryllium can cause breathing problems. After talking to neighbors, she realized her daughter wasn't alone.
It just became evident to me that I was hearing a lot of people with cancer.
It's not just from the old smelter. The town is also home to the former Iron King mine. The site produced lead, zinc, copper, gold, and silver. What's left? Huge piles of waste, which contain high levels of arsenic and lead, but no widespread testing had been done. Preston worked with 3 other longtime neighbors to start tracking where people lived and what conditions they were coming down with on this map.
This is downtown Humboldt. A lot of these, we're seeing brain cancer and liver cancer up in this area.
Green dots represent people who died from cancer. Pink for those that currently have cancer.
There's probably 20 more people since I've completed this that need to be added on to it.
The orange represents teachers at Humboldt Elementary who've had or passed away from cancer.
The most contaminated areas in town were the old railroad tracks right through here.
Railroad tracks ran behind the school. The Environmental Protection Agency says the contamination is a result of spills at rail loading areas, and they've tried to clean it up.
The wind direction was always up through this way.
The wind blows dust from the sites. There's also concern these chemicals have made it into the groundwater. It led the mine and smelter to be added to the Superfund National Priorities list back in 2008.
For homeowners, every step of this has been a fight. First, to get the smelter taken down, then to even put fencing up to keep people off the site and signage to warn them of the danger. Yet to date, not a single thing has been done to actually clean up the site.
But change is coming. In 2022, the EPA said Dewey Humboldt had been selected for remediation. Following meetings and a public comment period, the EPA announced its plan, creating 2 repositories, one on each site. All mine waste and contaminated soil will be moved and held in them. They're in the design phase now. The second component is cleaning up individual properties.
It's despicable that this has been going on so long.
Dozens filled Town Hall back in February for an update.
Do I expect something to be done? Yes, I do.
Homeowners need to agree to let the EPA onto their property to test for contamination, and some are skeptical.
Because I don't trust the EPA at all. Let's get real. 15, 16-year saga going on here.
To those that live in the area that say, great, you're doing this testing, you're designing all of this, but we have people that are sick and dying while you do that. Why isn't this being done quicker? What's your response?
We wish that it could be quicker too.
Michelle Rogo has been with the EPA's Superfund program for decades. She calls this a $100 million project. She tells us cleanup will include testing and then removing all contaminated soil from people's property.
This is our opportunity to clean up this community in a comprehensive manner.
The 4,300 people that call Dewey Humboldt home are hoping that happens too.
It's not only a failure by the owners, but the agencies involved as well.